The Irrational Confidence Podcast. Fighting Illini. They're a surprising 4-0. Brett Bielema's got that team playing real good football up there in Champaign. They're going down to Happy Valley. This is a 7:30 night game, but it's not a whiteout somehow. And they're playing the Penn State Nittany Lions. They're 3-0. At time of record, Penn State is an 18.5-point favorite in this game. Over-under is set at 47.5. I actually really like the under in this one because I think both these teams are really going to play some defense. And Illinois, there's still some stuff out there, but they've impressed me. I got to give them a lot of credit. They had a big win last week going into a hostile environment like Lincoln, Nebraska. Fresh, where are you seeing Illinois versus Penn State?
Illinois has been scrappy. You win at Nebraska, you beat Kansas. They haven't scored a ton of points, but they've won. And it's kind of a no-name kind of team. Like a couple of years ago, obviously, Witherspoon, the whole secondary was good for them. They had Chase Brown, running back. It's just like a no-name football team who's just getting it done. And it's not because Zachary Franklin. It's not, Luke Altmar's been solid. It's the defense of just guys who are flying around, tackling, offensive linemen who are playing at a high level. Last time Illinois traveled to Happy Valley was in 2021, and it was ugly, but they pulled off the upset. What was it, triple, quadruple overtime? I can't remember.
Like
it was
6 overtimes. It was fantastic. It was ugly, but it was fantastic.
It's like no scoring,
right?
But it was a typical James Franklin game. Just has no clue what's going on and loses the clunker, and everyone wonders why is this guy still employed. I feel like Penn State's a little more focused this time because Illinois is ranked. And Illinois at the time, a couple of years ago, they weren't very good. That was kind of the beginning of the Brett Bielema resurgence in 21 and 22. Now they're a little better. They're going to have their attention. They'll be ready. It's a night game. I think they'll be fired up. And it's going to be a real challenge for Illinois to keep the momentum now that they're expected to win. Believe me, we both took Nebraska to beat Illinois last time. Everyone thought after them being Colorado and Raiola and Matt Rule and being a night game and Lincoln that they were going to show up and just take care of business. And Illinois went there and they said, that's great. Waved at him and walked out with the dub. Brett Bielema in his press conference this week, taking shots at Happy Valley, taking shots at the Penn State faithful, saying that the Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska is a much more hostile environment. I got a feeling that's going to turn up a couple notches, and those fans for Penn State are going to be a little lubed up all afternoon and be ready to go to provide the extra energy into the fourth quarter. The best way for Illinois to win is to keep the same recipe they've had this year and the past couple of years under Brett Bielema. Run the football, simple passes. Do not try to get too pass happy. Control the pace of the football game. Force turnovers. You're going to have to score touchdowns to beat Penn State. You can't kick field goals, but also holding them. Bend but don't break mentality. Getting out and off the field. Drew Allar will give you a couple of them if you sort of wait your time. The upset is possible, but it's going to require Illinois to keep their minds straight and be able to execute on every single play. On the other side, Penn State. Last time we truly saw them in the spotlight nationally is where they just stormed through West Virginia. Last week, they tore up Penn State. The week before, they actually had a nice little fight with Bowling Green. We're going to what is Penn State? They look great week one. They had the whole offseason prepared. Past 2 weeks, like we talked about, Kent State, not really much of an opponent. And the week before, Bowling Green gave them a fight, and they were lucky enough to get out of that thing without being upset. Where's the mentality? Where's the mindset of this Penn State football team? Offensively, defense, are they ready to attack? Lights out, play focused football, play disciplined football? Are they ready to feed off the crowd? If they let Illinois hang around, it could be problematic. You've got to come out here and show. There's not many games. We talk about Penn State. Not many games are just scheduled with ranked opponents outside of a typical Oregon or Ohio State or Michigan. You have a chance here against Illinois ranked to get a win and add a resume builder. Do not blow this opportunity if you want a playoff spot. You have to come in here, seize the chance. If Illinois pulls off this upset, I don't really care if Penn State goes 11-1. It's going to be very, very tough for me to have them as a top 10 seed. But you lose to Illinois. I don't expect Illinois to sustain success the entire year. You've got to just come in here, get your dub, and head off to next week and do your business. Take care of business. I want to see a little more from the Penn State passing game. I want to see if they can challenge the secondary of Illinois, push the ball downfield, because as time goes forward, you're going to need that passing game to help supplement that running game. If they can start creating balance and using that, it'll be very successful. But in the end, I don't care how pretty it is. I don't care how ugly it is. Just get a W, survive in advance, and move on. James Franklin, you need to start being a legit Big Ten football coach and get these wins. You cannot have the choke losses. You cannot miss opportunities. If you want to be taken seriously, get Penn State to the playoff. In the end, I think Penn State takes care of business. I think they win by a touchdown, more like a 27-20, 24-17 kind of ball game. I think it'll be a little more high scoring than usual because I think the guys will be amped up and things will start popping, early in the ball game and late will sort of settle. But it'll be a nice little fun affair. Penn State will win by a touchdown. But Illinois will prove that they're a worthy top 25 football team.
Fresh, last week we were discussing Illinois going up against Nebraska. And again, I give Illinois a lot of credit, being able to go into a tough – I'll give Lincoln a solid nod, tip of the cap to them because that is a tough place to play. Brett Bielema, cool your jets about comparing Lincoln, Nebraska to Happy Valley. I don't like when my team goes into Happy Valley. We saw a couple of years ago when Auburn went north of the Mason-Dixon, tried to win in Happy Valley. It's not an easy place to play. It's a tough stadium. It's one of the largest in the entire country. Here's the thing. We talked about this last week, Fresh, the difference with Luke Altmaier this season. Last season, he was kind of an up-and-down quarterback. He turned the football over. This year, dude's completing over 71%. He's closing down 72% of his passes, 10 touchdowns to no interceptions. That's where the difference is coming in for this Illinois offense as well. They're balancing it out. They got a nice rushing attack there with Figgins. And, like you've said multiple times, Fresh, we're recorded out of Jacksonville, Florida. Pat Bryan out of Atlantic Coast High School, the senior over there, is really showing off 6 touchdowns already on 20 catches as well. Zahari Franklin is going to be the one that everyone kind of gets the spotlight. But you take a look at what Bryan's done over there, pretty awesome stuff to see the Jacksonville boys kind of showing out as well. As for Penn State, for me, Fresh, there's a lot of talk that's going to be on Alar, and he's completing 71% of his passes, 8 touchdowns to 1 interception. But I really think the difference is how strong Nicholas Singleton has been. We've been waiting for this for 2 years. Nicholas Singleton has been one of the best potential running backs in all of college football since the day he put on a Penn State jersey. This year, he is averaging over 8 yards a carry. On 37 carries, he's got over 300 yards. The problem I have with him is he's only found the end zone twice so far. That really makes me question. I know he splits carries about 50-50 with Katron Allen, but Singleton has been the bell cow in that backfield. This is a game where with Illinois' defense, with how strong they are, I want to see Nicholas Singleton go off in this football game. I want to see a 100-yard game out of him. I want to see 2 touchdowns as well. The other thing, too, Fresh, is where's the passing attack? Where is the elite receiver as well? They got in Julian Fleming from Ohio State. He transferred in. His ESPN pitcher right now looks like he should be teaching philosophy 305 instead of being out on the football field. But maybe he is. Maybe he's a grad. Maybe he's a grad transfer.
He's on the quad.
He's teaching philosophy 305. I don't know. This offense has got to have a little bit more of that big play ability. They've had a couple of big strikes as well, but it's been the conversation since last year. It's been a conversation on a lot of different shows that you look at. Wisconsin getting those big chunk plays. Are they able to do that? This is the good test because, again, West Virginia, all year long, jack up for that. Week 2, Bowling Green gives you everything you can handle. And Bowling Green gave Texas A&M everything they can handle. So maybe we should put some respect on Bowling Green's name a little bit here. And then Kent State is maybe the worst college football program in Division I right now. Probably should be demoted to FCS. Yeah. I'm just saying maybe we promote either Mount Union or Heidelberg.
Give me some relegation.
Yeah, maybe bring Heidelberg up. I don't know. Mount Union, the Purple Raiders. It's another Ohio team they can play up. This is a key game for me, though, to see what Penn State really is made of, because it's going to tell us a lot where they are going season. The teeth of their schedule is going to start coming up here in the next few weeks. Penn State, this is where you got to start something big and go on from there. In the end, I like Penn State as well. I like Penn State by about 4 in this game. That 18.5, though, is really, really scary for me because I think Illinois is going to be fired up. I think that they're going to cause all sorts of problems for the Penn State offense there. But again, I think Nicholas Singleton, big game out of him, 2 touchdowns for him. Alar's going to throw a touchdown as well. Nittany Lions win this football game.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those. It's obviously kicking off at the same time as the Georgia-Alabama game, so maybe commercial breaks, you switch over to NBC, you take a peek, or you watch it on tape the next day. Unless you are an Illinois Penn State fan, you're probably not going to watch this game. So it's also a way where if Penn State struggles, it's kind of like the tree fall in the forest and nobody heard it. So it's one of those. It's going to be an interesting situation where if they do struggle and voters are like, "Well, I wasn't watching the game, I have no idea," it actually might be a blessing instead of a curse.
Yeah, this Saturday night is a sports bar type of night. You want to have 3 or 4 multiple TVs in front of you to be able to keep up with all of the different games.